Hello and welcome to A New Day Live. I am extremely excited about this episode this evening because on this episode we will be focusing on a healthier you. Yes, it's your responsibility to take control and charge of who you are and better yet, who you are seeking to become. Joining me on the set live here at Comcast at 5 Shelter Rock Road will be Dr. Ann Brandon, and Dr. Brandon is a chiropractic physician and also a yoga instructor. And next to Dr. Brandon will be Miss Siobhan Hutchinson, and she is a massage therapist. And next will be Dr. Rennie Salter, who is also a chiropractic physician, and he also holds a master's degree in nutrition. So we have the best of the best here live for you tonight. We are encouraging you to call in with your questions. If you have nutritional questions, you are going to address them to Dr. Salter. If you have chiropractic questions, you'll address them to Dr. Ann Brandon. And massage question, you'll address to Siobhan. And if you have empowering or transformational question, you will address them to me. So we here are ready to rock and roll. I want to welcome my guests. Thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here because you believe in what I believe in, which is empowering individuals to take control of their lives. And of course, we can do that. So why don't I start with the only gentleman on this set? Why don't we go to Dr. Salter and have him introduce himself and just say why he accepted the invitation to come and be on this live show to help people in and around the greater Danbury area take control and responsibility for their lives. So let's go to Dr. Salter at the end and have him introduce himself to the viewers. Dr. Salter, please.
Hi, thank you. My name is Dr. Statler, and Daphne, I want to thank you for inviting me. I'm cordially accepting this. I actually accepted because I want to bring and enlighten the individuals in Danbury and the surrounding neighborhoods, communities, about health, about well-being, and how our body is affected by numerous situations that we do, including our nutrition and our biomechanics and the whole body in general. So thank you.
Thank you so much for coming, because this is so important. There are so many people who are going around and pointing fingers, and it's always somebody else's fault. And I don't hear anybody talking about whose responsibility it is. So I am so excited that you all believe in what I believe in, and we are here to shed some light on that. Siobhan, would you please introduce yourself to the listeners?
Hi, my name is Siobhan Hutchinson, and I am a licensed massage therapist. And I believe in the power of the human body to heal itself. Touch contributes to that, and people need touch to help them balance in so many different ways. So this is my learning. This is what I'm looking to bring to people in my area and be a positive force for them.
Okay, so thank you for being here, Siobhan. Thank you. And I must tell the listeners, I am not just inviting her here to be on the set. I have experienced her work. I experienced her touch when she was a student, and I've also experienced it since she has graduated. And as I tell her, I don't think that becoming a massage therapist was her choice. Because when I experienced the touch of her hands, I know that this career was ordained just for her. So I'm just so thankful that you are obedient and following through on what these hands were created to do. So thank you for that. Dr. Ann Brandon.
My name is Dr. Ann Brandon. I am a chiropractic physician and a yoga certified instructor, as well as a community educator. And I accepted your offer because I've known you for years out in the community, and I want to help in the education of the community, how they can better take care of their own bodies. And as a teacher of anatomy and biomechanics, I'd like to make some suggestions perhaps to the callers of how they can take better care of themselves.
Thank you so much. And we're going to begin to do that, because until the phone rings, there's a lot that we can talk about that will educate the people. So why don't we go? We have the number on the screen that you need to call. The number is 203-792-4101. And that's the number you can call, and of course you will be on live. So in the meantime, who would like to start? Dr. Stadler or Dr. Ann? What are some areas that you think we need, as a people, need to focus on as precautionary measure? Because we all sit home and wait until the bottom begins to fall out, then we are running to get it fixed. But let's talk about the beginning to prevent. Where should we start? Yes.
Chiropractic is a system of healthcare, and I think that people should consider incorporating it into their whatever medical care they may be getting. They will learn about how to take better care of their structure and how to prevent. Chiropractic has always been about prevention of disease. I think that people need to take more responsibility for their health, and if they learned about their anatomy, it's actually a little bit easier, I think, than they know of. I think it would empower people to know that they can take very good care of themselves, and in doing that will prevent disease in the long run. I'm actually part of the Coalition for Healthy Kids here in Danbury and in Western Connecticut. I'm one of the partners with about 20 other partners, and our whole thrust of that program is to prevent chronic diseases, fight problems like obesity, diabetes, arthritis, other things that are costing people the quality of their lives, but also costing our economy a tremendous amount of money that could all be avoided if people were more educated and took the power and the responsibility back to take care of their bodies better.
Dr. Sadler, would you like to add, and then I'll come to Siobhan for some...
Well, I believe that we need to really look into the very beginning on a whole diet routine. What is it that we are consuming as individuals, not as adults, but starting from the young kids all the way up. Look at the effects of soda on the children and all the fast foods on the children, how that affects their metabolism, their hormones, and their individuals at concentration in school. So we look at the whole person starting from the very beginning. Now, I do believe everything in moderation.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
You're out there and you're having a good time and there's some fast food to eat, well, moderize what you're doing and enjoy it, but don't go over and above and keep going back there. So I do believe that we have to start educating as the kids grow up in grade school all the way through. And once we do that, the parents or the guardians, who's ever adults are with them, they have to take control of that and run with it also.
That's right. Siobhan, how do you see touch and massage fitting into this preventative measure?
Well, one of the things that came up as the doctors were talking, that's something that I learned when I was going to school, was how important what you put in your body is in terms of how your muscles even function, how everything is put together with those building blocks, those nutritional elements.
Yes.
And when you don't have them, your muscles can't function properly. Your muscles are not functioning, they're drawing up, you're not having the flow that you need so that your body is in an alignment so that you you function, you move in an economical fashion. So you're not compensating, because your body always tries to get you straight. But if you are compensating, you know, one side rises, the other side goes down to balance it off, you end up with all kinds of neuromuscular issues. And the thing that massage does so well is it brings the healing elements of your body to those places, blood circulation, the healing elements that's in the blood. It brings nutrition to those muscles, the relaxation, the breaking up of those tightened places where the muscles lock, so that you don't have that freedom of movement. But through massage, the manipulation of flesh, soft tissue, just really does help to balance your whole body out, so that you can just relax, let go, and then you can function the way you're supposed to.
Wonderful. Thank you all very much. Dr. Ann, I notice you travel with a vertebra. Is there a bit of education you want to just illustrate to the people now? And we are encouraging you. Come on, guys. Call in. The number to call is 203-792-4101. Let us hear from you.
Okay. This is basically a model of the normal spine. There are 3 curves in the spine: the cervical spine, the thoracic or dorsal spine, the lumbar spine. These are the vertebrae. These are the discs in between the vertebrae. They keep the space open for the nerves to flow out in between each vertebrae. The nerves that come out of the spine control your entire body, which is one of the charts that we have over there. And the central nervous system controls everything about us. So what our body does, first of all, the power, we believe that the power that made our body can heal our body. So basically we are self-healing if you remove interference with this system. So many people experience symptoms. So a big part of chiropractic care, and we do chiropractic manipulation, we do soft tissue work, but a big part of chiropractic care is removing the interference so that the body can heal itself. But it's most times people show up at our office that are in pain. So a large part of our work is to eliminate pain, teach people how to take better care of this structure, and then also stabilize the structure so we get to the root of the problem, and then it won't happen again. We also do a lot of work between chiropractic care, between our educating the patient and yoga instruction that we have at the office as well. We're stabilizing the core of our body, so the person's body will be stronger and won't experience the pain again and the symptoms in the future, but also just will make you a stronger individual from taking better care of your frame and your core. Now, with the spine, also you have your sacrum, and many people have heard of the sacroiliac joints, which are your sacrum, where it articulates with your hip bones, which are your ilium. So sacroiliac joints are right in this area, at the bottom of the lumbar spine. And then when you sit, a lot of things are actually, a lot of painful situations come from poor postural habits. So Dr. Statler and I, we are partners, we educate people about proper posture because it's a huge element in maintaining the stability and the health of this spine. And these are your sits bones, which we sit on all day long. And one of the problems that we're having now is that many people, for example, in corporate world, we have become a very sedentary nation, and it's wreaking havoc on our health. And there are many ways to counter that by being more active, by keeping our weight at a healthy weight. One of the things that we really push for in the Coalition for Healthy Kids here in Danbury, again with the United Way and the YMCA, our message is 5210, and that is, in terms of nutrition, what we were talking about, proper nutrition, 5 fruits and vegetables a day are suggested, 2 hours or less of screen time per day for children and adults, which includes TV, computer, texting, anything to do with the screen, 1 hour of exercise every day, and 0 sweetened beverages, as Dr. Statler had mentioned, sodas. So 0 sweetened beverages. And if we follow those healthy habits throughout our life, it's not, they're also for fighting obesity, but it's really not about as much about becoming thin as it is just being healthy, and the weight will sort of take care of itself because not everybody is meant to be thin. So
that's right.
So really the focus should come off maybe some of the, even though we are becoming more of an obese nation, I think the focus needs to be more on being healthy than
Being
obsessing about the weight and
right.
becoming thin.
That's right. Because there are a lot of well-upholstered, healthy people, and there are a lot of thin, unhealthy people.
Yes.
I like that.
We like that. We give that 2 thumbs up.
And actually,
Yes.
one more thing I'd like to say about the spine
Yes.
that's very important that I think most viewers don't realize is that 80 to 90% of headaches come from the neck, which are the spinal bones, the musculature. And again, with chiropractic, we do manipulation of the spine, we do soft tissue, we use physical therapeutics in our treatment, which are like ultrasound, muscle stim, all of those things to get the body and the nervous system functioning better, to eliminate symptoms, but also to just have you functioning at 100% or close to it.
Thank you so much. And Dr. Statler, at what age do you think we ought to start our chiropractic care?
Well, that's a very good question. I'm not only a chiropractor, I'm a past adjunct professor at the University of Bridgeport, where I taught chiropractic to students to be chiropractors. I initially didn't believe that what could go wrong with a baby being born, you know, as far as chiropractically noted. So I thought later on when they get bigger. Well, when I had when my daughter, and I was present for the birth of my daughter 15 and a half years ago, her doctor was asking me about when will I adjust her, and I didn't really have an answer. And after the delivery, very perfect delivery, he asked me, how about now? And I said, absolutely. And when you adjust babies, I adjust a lot of babies, and kids, you don't have a hard adjustment. You don't go in there forcefully.
Yes.
What you do is just allow the body to start healing itself and helping it. We're just guiding the health of the individual. Think about it. If I ask you to lay down on your back and let me pull you 10 feet and twist you, you think you're going to have any problems with your spine, you will.
Exactly.
Those muscles have not 1 minute, 5 minutes of integrity in the gravitational pull of our Earth and of the whole atmospheric pressure, but yet we're twisting and pulling them. So they wind up with a lot of soft tissue injuries, and we help with a lot of the soft tissue injuries as the baby is born. So to answer your question in a roundabout way, I think immediately. And as she could tell you, working with soft tissues on little ones, it's amazing results. You can help them with a whole slew of problems. But you do have to be knowledgeable about what problems you can handle and when you need to refer them out.
Exactly. So it all begins with the self-education.
Absolutely.
Because so long as you acquire the information that's needed, the next thing is that you are going to take the right action. But if you don't know, you can't act. So people need to be assertive in getting the information that they need for their proper health.
Knowledge is key, and the internet is a sleuth of information out there.
You just
but
have to go
sometimes it's too much information.
It's a lot of information, and you have to know how to weed it down and how to prioritize
You need a good healthcare practitioner that you could pick up the phone and they could tell you what exactly to do or where to go.
Now, the same question for you, Siobhan, being a massage therapist. When are you prepared to begin massage? Because I know that there are massages for our animals, and I know there are massages for our babies and everything. So when, in your practice, when are you ready, and at what stage are you qualified to begin massaging an infant?
That's an interesting question. I don't know if I quite understand it, but
are you prepared or certified to work on babies? And if so, at what age?
I'm a licensed massage therapist. I have not worked with babies before, but I can say as a mother, and I would encourage any mother, you know that you are always holding that baby. You know how important that touch is for any baby. So just as a mother, you would naturally take that child and just rub their back. And when you're rubbing that back, you're stimulating that parasympathetic response. Those endorphins are flowing. That baby just relaxes and goes to sleep. If it's a 2-month-old baby or a 20-year-old man or a 60-year-old, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's the same effect,
Touch,
you know.
that's true.
And it's that touch, and it's stimulating all those nerves that are in that model there, coming out the side of that spine. You're stimulating the surface. You're getting blood to that. Everything starts to flow together. So there is, you know, definitely there are people that specialize in baby massage. There are some programs I believe that they have at hospitals where they have birthing centers and things like that, where you can get a training in that area. But that's not my specialization. That's not the area that I'm looking to go into. But anybody can benefit. And something else I noticed that you had said that I just wanted to bring up, the recommendation that people would just have like 2 hours max on the computer. Well, the reality of life is that if you're working in a corporate setting, you're on the computer the whole 8 hours you're there.
Exactly.
Let's be real.
Exactly.
So the difficulty becomes where you're not even aware of that posture, which is what happens to so many people. Your head is tipped, you're all contracted, and all that is doing is shortening your muscles in the back of your neck. You're getting really tight in your pectoral muscle, overstretched and weakened in the muscles that hold your back, your traps, the rhomboids, those areas. And as I'm listening to these two chiropractors talk, I'm just like, wow, we just knit together so well. You know, that the focus on that spine, that's your rock of Gibraltar, that's your center. That's right. That's the thing that keeps you from turning into a blob on the floor. And when it's all, compacted or tipped or something is shifted out of alignment, the muscles are grabbing and pulling and exerting pressure in the wrong way, it all combines to just stress you out. Everything goes up into your head, you get headaches, it's all related.
Yes, yes. And again, listen guys, I need you to call in. We are here, we want to hear from you. The number to call is 203-792-4101. I don't want to have to be begging, maybe I have to start beg the crew to call in to see if you all have any questions. Somebody. So, we want to... Hello, good evening. You're on A New Day show live. What's your name and where are you calling from, please?
Hi, my name is Bob.
Hi, Bob.
Hello, I'm calling from Watertown, Connecticut.
Hi, how are you?
Well, I'm fine. I'm at a friend's home and I'm watching the program.
Yes.
And I'm really excited about what you're talking about, because I think that at this point in time in our culture in America,
yes,
I need to express my feelings in terms of everything you've been talking about.
Yes.
So, Daphne and fellow doctors and massage therapists, why do you think our culture has evolved to the place where within the last 100 years, when people were immigrating to this country, they came with their wonderful recipes or their culture from Western Europe or wherever. Our parents and grandparents made wonderful fresh foods.
Yes.
We ate the best of garden foods.
Yes.
Olive oils, beans, all good foods. Every night we had dinner on the table.
Together.
We ate together. We talked.
Yes.
Why have we evolved, even through technology, even though it's here? Why can't we know these same basic eating
practices.
habits? And why have we faltered where now we have to teach people how to eat?
That's
and
right.
what foods to eat? What's gone wrong when we already had it?
That's a very good question, and one we want to start with Dr. Salter.
Well,
thank you for calling, Barb.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, Bob. I believe we're caught up in the rat race of society. We're looking to fit so much in a single day, and everyone's working a lot, and dual parents are working. A lot of times we just don't have the time to sit down and eat like we should. And taking your time to eat, chewing so many times, letting the food metabolize in us. And we don't do that as a society anymore, where we should. So I believe that we got caught up in the whole modernization of society, and trying to make as much in a day as we can as far as monetary values, and trying to make ourselves one step better than where our grandparents were, trying to make it one step better in the process of our daily living. But in that process, we're losing time to take care of ourselves as a community and as a whole.
And I just want to interject here, and then I'm going to go to Siobhan and Dr. Brandon. I think, honestly, we have lost sight of what our priorities are.
Absolutely.
And I think we have become a society. We have become a stuff society. The more stuff we have, the better off we think we are, versus looking at our health. Like, I just discovered a new love for eggplant. And this entire summer, I ate roasted eggplants, bean salads, roasted fennel roots, just some delicious thing. And people look at it and say, oh, what are you eating? And to me, it's delicious, it's fresh. And it's not a challenge for me to eat that way, because I grew up in Jamaica, where everything I ate was fresh, from the ground to the table, or to the pot to the table. And living in the rural parts, like we are so blessed here in Connecticut, because everywhere we drive, we have food stands where we can serve ourselves and we can pay in the pan. So we take advantage of that. But there are still some people who don't understand the importance of those things. So it's a very great question that Barb has asked. Dr. Brandon, would you like to add, and then Siobhan?
Well, I went to Jamaica this past year. I finally took a vacation, which I don't do often enough, as part of not maybe taking enough time for myself. But we went out into the hills in Jamaica. And one of the important lessons about me going to Jamaica was, first of all, it was absolutely beautiful, but also I realized as a society, I felt like we were very gluttonous after being there. And so that was a good lesson for me. I think we need to have a paradigm shift back to taking responsibility for ourselves. I think that this past probably 60 years, maybe even 50 years, we have turned our responsibility for taking care of ourselves over to someone else to fix us.
That's right.
Dr. Statler and I work very well with the medical community, and we are just a part of the healthcare delivery system as chiropractic physicians, and myself as a yoga instructor as well. But we do work very well with the medical community, but our nation needs to take back responsibility for your own health. When you come into our office, I am a partner with you in taking care of your health. I am not responsible for taking care of the patient's health. I will teach you everything I know about it. I am very biomechanically oriented. I will teach you everything about taking care of your spine so that all of the organs in your body can function at an optimal capacity. I think that it's a financial consideration how we ended up in the boat that we're in. I think Dr. Statler mentioned both parents may be working. We all want more stuff, as you mentioned. So I ate together with my family growing up. I had a wonderful upbringing with my 5 sisters, and I have 6 daughters. And I tried to get together at least once a week to have a family dinner, because I had one every night growing up, and I know how important it was. But one other thing about rushing, and again, back to the Coalition for Healthy Kids, we are suggesting 5 fruits and vegetables a day, even if it's sort of a fast food, but you have to make the healthy choice an easy choice, because we are all rushing around. So preparing a bowl of fresh grapes that are already washed in the refrigerator, you know, having fresh fruit cut up in the refrigerator to make it an easy choice to grab that quickly rather than a candy bar, or rather than a Snickers or whatever fast food, junk food we're having.
And we won't call any of those names because they don't sponsor the show. So
cut those out,
we got
please.
those other things. Siobhan.
Oh gosh.
Diet, nutrition.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, really, the basis of it is more what's going on with people in society, that everybody is running around like crazy just trying to keep everything moving, and the thing is there's not a lot of unity. And it really does start with the family. And when you compare things in the older days, the earlier days, well, you know, grandma was there, aunties, uncles, the family was all together, not just mom and dad, but aunties, uncles, grandfather, you know, you had a support base. So you weren't trying to carry the whole world on your shoulders by yourself. But now, well, you know, first of all, if mom and dad are even together, you know, grandma is down in Florida and grandpa is out in California, and, you know, everybody is all over the place. And, you know, we like our freedom. There's an upside. You like your freedom. You like having your own space. But the downside is that we're not there in those intimate relationships to support each other and give each other the break, you know, and the support so that you don't have to do everything by yourself. I mean, you know, you get on the rat race.
That's right.
You run the rat race.
That's right. However, I think all is not at lost, because we need to just go back and begin to make the right decisions. Our family can only eat what's in the house. What's in the home, what's in the refrigerator. So why not shop properly? Dr. Ann mentioned about the fruits, fresh fruits. If I as a mother, or you as a father, or parents overall, if we shop for the correct things and put them there and begin to work with the kids, that's what they're going to eat. It goes back to the lunch boxes that people fix to go. They go into the wholesalers and they buy all those packaged preserved stuff, and what they do, they open the case, they take a pack out, and that's what they put in the lunch boxes, versus cutting up a nice fruit and put it in the container and let the child eat that. So yes, we are running, doing 10, 11 jobs, but we can do better based on our choices, right? So we just hope I hope she's watching her TV to hear the lively discussion we had on that, because we disconnected her by accident, and for that we apologize. So we thank her for calling in all the way from Watertown. So Dr. Ann, you mentioned yoga, and I know you're a yoga instructor. Let's talk about how yoga fits into the alternative practices of life.
Okay. Yoga has been around since the beginning of time, probably. It is very empowering to practice yoga. You become very aware of your body in the practice of yoga. I think it builds a respect of your body when you practice yoga. It improves circulation. It improves all the flow of your nerves and your energy throughout your body. It alleviates a lot of symptoms. It's very good for back pain, headaches, just many musculoskeletal conditions become healthier and less symptomatic with the practice of yoga. I think it also, good posture is very important for people to have want to get that? Okay. Good posture is very important for people to have good self-esteem. There are studies done on good posture that it also makes you smarter. So yoga is totally tied into both chiropractic care, soft tissue work like massage, and I think we'd like to answer that phone.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay. So yoga is really important for self-esteem. It's very important for empowering people in their own bodies. And in my practice of yoga, I'm always talking about the beauty of our body and the sacredness of having a healthy body, and that it is our greatest asset.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the A New Day Show Live. Would you state your name and where you're calling from, please?
Yes, this is Mike from Danbury.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
Hi. I was just wondering, why do you believe more people have lower back pain and injuries than more upper back?
Okay, great question for one of the chiropractors.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Well, Mike, let me take this one. We're more sedentary these days, as we said. A lot more jobs are sitting. But besides that, even physical jobs, we're not exercising as we used to when we were all younger. growing up, you would have never thought of sitting around playing games on a TV. We were always out there running around, doing things and exercising our body. Now, nowadays, that's not the case. So you wind up with tighter muscles. As we sit, we have tighter hamstrings in the back leg muscles, which connect to the base of our spine, our pelvic area. And then as you're going to bend or twist, you don't have the right mobility at the spinal level, at the base. And our base is the weight-bearing section of our whole torso. So you take a brunt of abuse over there. You also have to have a good core stability, because that's going to keep the lordosis, or the curve in the lower back, in check. And not too many people want to have core stability, or they may want to, but they don't do their diligence in keeping it, whether it's exercise, sit-ups, proper nutrition, eating, watching what you're doing. So you have a weak core stability, which directly affects the lumbar spine and the lower back, as opposed to the upper back area, where we don't have as much weight of our head pushing down on our upper back as the weight of our head and chest pushing on our lower back.
All right. Dr. Ann, would you like to add something to that?
Yes, I would actually. So this being the lumbar spine, I assume Mike is talking about the lumbar spine, and very often the sacroiliac joints are involved in a low back dysfunction or a pain situation. Often the sacroiliac joints are either undiagnosed or misdiagnosed, and very often all of the blame is placed on the lumbar spine. So the proper diagnosis is key, first of all. Second of all, as Dr. Statler was talking about, the core, your core not only is the 4 layers of abdominal muscles on the opposing side. Your lumbar spine's over here. These bones are the same as the front bones. It's just they wrap around and become the front. So one of these pictures here, we have the relationship between the back of your spine and the front of your spine, and very often this is too weak. But your muscles up here are just the front of your core. Your core is actually more like a cylinder. So our core is really our inner being. It has a top, which is considered the diaphragm. The bottom is your perineum, which is the bottom of your body. The front are your abdominal muscles, and then the back are the multifidus muscles along the lumbar spine down here. One of the other things I wanted to mention is, in my practice over 20 plus years, I think that there also is a lot of upper back pain, and I think in a general way, I think men may experience more low back pain, but I find a lot of women who have a larger chest typically, and also do a lot of forward bending, whether it's childcare or secretarial or computer stuff over the years. A lot of women do experience upper back and neck pain as well as low back pain. So I'm not sure that there is more time is lost from work due to low back pain and headaches. But headaches, again, go back to the neck and the upper back. So I'm not positive that there is more low back pain than
well,
neck
yeah,
pain.
and I'm praying that answer his question, because a lot of times these questions are going to be coming from one's personal experience.
Yes.
So, and based on how they state their question, I mean, my aches and my pain seems as if it's the majority because it's my experience. So we'll just address, and I thought you did extremely well. I don't know if our massage therapist has anything to add, lower back pains on massage or no?
Yeah, well, you know, like obviously that's like the money zone for massagers, because whenever you get somebody on their table, you take that first stroke down their back, you can actually see if there are an imbalance there and how their body is just at rest being positioned, and you can work into those areas and relieve those muscles, stretch them out, and you know, because what happens is what the doctor said, your core is weak. You know, your stomach, your ab muscles are not working properly. They're weakened. So what happens is your pelvis tilts anteriorly, it tilts forward, your back gets contracted more. You know, you bend over and pick up a toothbrush and throw your back out. I mean, it doesn't take much at that point.
Right.
So yeah, massage, that's one of the key areas that we're working with. You know, that's your connection between your top and your bottom of your body. You know, that sacroiliac area, that it's like a triangle that connects your top to your bottom. It's a connection between the axial and the appendages. And the weight really centers there and then down into your feet. So when that lower back is contracted, yeah, you're feeling it at the slightest little thinking through of, and I have hurt my back.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something, when the back hurts, you
Everywhere.
can't move.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
We believe
Actually,
a lot
there
in exercise for your back stability, for the whole spinal stability.
Yeah.
As you see, we exercise. Patients come in, they're like, how do you have time to exercise when you have a practice run? We have a masseuse acupuncturist in our office. And we said, you know what, it's our body. We got to take control of it and
You're
take
in no position
responsibility.
to help somebody else if you can't help yourself.
No, so we have
That's
to
right.
do our own exercises, and we then tell the patients to do these same exercises. So we are products of what we preach.
Exactly. And I think what the lesson that Mike, our caller, ought to get out of this is the importance of working with a team. Team is extremely important. Everyone on your team needs to be connected so they know what's going on. And I think you can't be running to this doctor over there and this doctor don't know about anything else. It's your responsibility to make sure that your team is working together, because you're going to be the end result of that. So you need to be assertive in making sure that happens.
I have one more comment on the low back pain. Very often people will work hard and then come home from work and they sit on their couch, or they have bad postural habits, or they're not sleeping properly. A lot of people sleep on their stomachs, and they should not be on their bellies. They should be on their side with a pillow between the knees or on their back. So there's a lot of, for 7 or 8 hours, you're laying in the wrong position, which puts a lot of strain on the spine as well. So there's a proper way to do everything.
That's right.
And most people have not been educated in that, so they don't, unless they ask a chiropractic physician or someone else that's very body-oriented, that also knows how to diagnose. We also educate the patient in everything they do.
Education, education, education. So until the phone rings, why not talk about food? Because we all love food. We started off talking about eating junk and eating that, but what does a good diet looks like, Dr. Salter?
A good diet, going back to that 5210, is you have to have a good balance of your fruits and vegetables. Vegetables are very important. A lot of fried stuff you want to try to stay away. Most ailments begin with inflammation. And by eating healthy, non-fried foods, you limit the amount of inflammation you are putting into your body. You should look at more natural spices like a ginger spice or a turmeric spice, any of those anti-inflammatories that will control the COX-2 inhibitors that will control the enzymes which produce inflammation. These are natural ways that you could actually work by your eating habits to lower the inflammatory process in your body. And once you start doing that, you start controlling diseases that will develop as an inflammatory process.
What's your take, as a nutritionist, what's your take on a raw diet?
Everything in moderation. You have to look at it as far as what we meant to eat a raw diet in the very beginning, but over evolution, our systems have changed. So to try to take a changed substance or subject and revert it back to where we came from isn't the best. There's other practitioners out there who would have a nice discussion with me on this.
Debate,
but I believe that a moderation
debate.
is where you should go. Nothing too extreme.
Right.
Shouldn't eat too many carbs if someone wants to be on a carb diet, or too many proteins, or raw. I believe a nice moderation, but take a lot of fried stuff out.
Oh yeah, that got to go. as a nutritionist, and I'm spending a little time with the nutritionist here for a selfish reason, but I think we have a call. So we are going to wait. So my question is going to be surrounded around 2 spices that we all have in the kitchen. So we are going to come with that. I thought we had a call, but
I think you do.
hello, good evening, and welcome to the A New Day Show Live. Would you state your name and where you're calling from, please?
Hello, folks. My name is Jean, and I'm calling from Danbury.
Hi, Jean. How are you?
I'm doing well, and I'm really appreciating your program tonight, Daphne, and your guests are excellent.
Thank you.
And my question is regarding nutrition
Yes.
as well. What does each of your guests believe in terms of vitamins, taking multivitamins, taking specific vitamins, vitamin D, some of the vitamins that we know help our bodies because our diets are weak, are lacking these total vitamins. The earth is not as productive. The plants that are growing in the earth are not. The earth is depleted.
Yes,
How
yes.
can we balance the depletion? Even if you're eating your 5210, you're still not getting enough.
Let's
So how
go-
do they feel about the balancing of the vitamins and specific vitamins, if they could name them? Thank you, folks.
Thank you for calling in, Jean. Dr. Sadler.
Hi, Jane. First, you have to look at the absorption process in our body. What's our availability for the absorption? And you're correct that our earth is depleted. We don't have the sterols like we used to in all the greens that we eat and the fruits and vegetables. We have acid rain and fertilizers. But people will talk about just eating organic, but that's a real hard thing to do. So let's take that out of the whole picture. Lately, in the last few years, you hear about this big bandwagon of D3. Everybody's deficient in D vitamin. And you just started seeing where your medical doctors will prescribe a blood test to pull out the D3. And you could look at that. But nutritionally, nutritionists have been looking at all these vitamins for years. It's nothing new to us. And so we start looking at what's your absorption availability in your intestines. What is your acidophilus and your lactobacillus? What's the balance of that which absorbs all our nutrients so we could be a balanced, healthy individual instead of a malnourished eating person. So you look at that protocol right there. Antibiotics will kill all the good bacteria in your intestines that we need to absorb. And when was the last time that you had antibiotics and they asked you to follow up with your probiotics?
That's what I was
Think
gonna
about
ask.
this. Anti means against, biotic is life. So they're killing life in
That's right.
your body, but they never say pro, which is probiotics, pro-life. And that's where you should start looking at is what's our availability and take it from there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. We only have 10 minutes, so I'm just this is never
We'll
enough.
have to do it again.
We just need to come back again. Do you have any addition to that for the vitamins, Siobhan and Dr. Ann?
Just in terms of vitamin D, I think it's important that children and adults get outside and get some fresh air and sunshine
Some
every day
sunshine,
because to convert the usable form of vitamin D in our body, you need sunlight to do
sunshine.
that conversion.
Yes.
And I think it's important to get 15 or 20 minutes out in the sunshine
Okay.
on
Wonderful.
as regular basis as possible.
That's right. That's right. My question about the 2 spices was nutmeg and cinnamon.
Oh, cinnamon is a great spice to really control sugar. Okay. If you look at some natural ways to really control your sugar, you look at a cinnamon additive. you know, that's where I would be looking for a natural approach to controlling. One of the spices or supplements I would use for controlling sugar. Of course, if your sugar is way high and you're borderline diabetic, well, you need to go on some of the medications to start bringing it down. But as I always tell patients, as things start dropping down, incorporate the natural supplements so you could then make a conversion when your body is able to, and all the chemicals and the blood works are coming back that you're now at a good level. Do a conversion so you could prevent this from happening again.
All right. Well, thank you for that. What I'm going to be doing now is to give each of you 2.5 minutes to just summarize the lesson you want to leave our viewers with about maintaining a healthy lifestyle, measures to take to make sure they get better. It is never too late to begin. So why not start with you? You have not spoke for a while.
Well, as a massage therapist, of
looking
course,
back,
I encourage people to take the time out. There are so many people I've spoken to that never even had a massage, or they have wrong ideas of massage. They don't know what therapeutic massage is about, and they've never experienced it and thought it was something beyond them. There are a lot of businesses and things that are around now that are making it more available, but I encourage everybody to treat themselves, reward yourself for all that you do, and treat yourself to an hour massage, even if it's just once a month. I think it can benefit you so much. It helps you to get centered in yourself. It just, you need that breath. You need that time for self-care, becoming aware of where you're hurting. Some people don't even know. They just say, I hurt. They have no idea what is going on. But working with a massage therapist on a regular basis, they can get to know your body and help you get to understand your own self, where you hold tension, the areas that you're off and out of sync, and really can assist you with that recognition and bringing that flow of blood and energy and oxygen, all the chemicals and the vitamins that are in your body, helping them get to where they need to be to help you balance yourself. So I encourage everybody to experience that care, that healing touch, and see how it can help transform you. In addition with what everybody else does here, it all comes together.
Thank you so much. Dr. Ann?
I would like to encourage people to use their chiropractic benefits. We are on not just us, but chiropractors are on healthcare plans now because we're the second largest healing health system in the world.
Yes!
I would encourage you to take care of your frame. You get one body, and we need to take very good care of it. It's our most precious asset. Chiropractic care, craniosacral work, myofascial release technique, all of which are used at our office. Stimulate your body to be self-healing. I would like you to realize that that the power that made your body most times can heal your body, and we again work very well with the medical community, so we are not replacing the medical community's role at all. We are trying to work in cooperation with them, in a partnership with you and with your medical doctors that you're using. Everyone should be doing exercise regularly. Yoga is a wonderful addition to your health care that you're already using in your life. And I just encourage you to use chiropractic care.
Okay. Dr. Salter?
I like to look at and focus what is right with our body instead of what is wrong with our body. We have patients come in, and of course, there's a problem. And we'll address those problems, whether it's a headache or backache, neck pain, herniated discs. We have decompression machines in our office. We have a medical home health model at our office. In that model, we co-treat with all types of medical doctors and masseuse, acupuncturists, and in doing that, I bring into a lot of nutrition to the patients. So I like to really then take them out of the pain mode and start focusing on what is right with your body. I like having that very positive attitude to promote that. And then once we promote a positive, healthy attitude, we can keep that and move forward.
And for me, as an empowerment specialist and transformational coach and teacher, knowledge is not power unless it's applied. Empowerment has no place in your life unless it's utilized. And my reason for hosting this show is that so that I can invest in the empowerment and transformation of the community that I've been a part of for a long time. I want to thank each and every one of you for just taking the time to be here. And all I can say, an hour is never enough because there is so much that is needed for our people. And our people are dying. And I'm not going to say for the lack of knowledge, but for the lack of seeking. Because each and every person tend to have a feeling of entitlement that somebody owes them something and somebody ought to come to deliver. And I'm saying here on this set live, it is your responsibility to go find. You do not have a computer at home, there's one in the library. Or you know somebody who have one. Go out there and find it because you owe it to yourself. The parents owe it to their children. The leaders in the community owe it to the community. And if all of us understand the importance of taking care of who we are, then we are just getting ready to really expand on the legacy that we are looking to leave for the next generation. Again, I just want to thank you, Dr. Ann, for coming.
You're welcome.
I
It was
want
a
my
pleasure.
friend, sister, and Dr. Salter, I thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the work that you do.
Daphne, you empowered me so much right here that I'll make an offer to be an educational link for anyone who wants to call my office. They don't need to be a patient of mine. Anyone has a question, they could call me and I will help
Say the
direct
number.
them
Continue
Say
the
the
show.
number, please.
to
Yes.
where we will, where you could get some help. What's our number?
845
845, look in the microphone.
845-279-4300.
And listen, they are offering their service to help you for free. It's not a promotion, they are helping you for free. You would be a fool not to take advantage of that. The number is 845
279
279
4300.
4300. And if you have more questions, you just call me here on the show. Remember that you are created for greatness. Do not allow anyone to tell you anything otherwise. I love you and thank you for watching us this evening.
Thank you.